Yeah, I agree. He's a very good striker, especially with his deep runs behind the center backs. And I think in this situation, we have to be ready when we have not the highest pressure on the ball that we drop back with our line. And but it starts always with our pressure, with our intensity on the ball. But he's ready. He's always ready, especially with his deep runs. And in this case, we have to defend very well.
Next, we go to Christian.
Hi, good afternoon, Coach.
Good
Can you hear
afternoon.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, thank you for your time. I wanted to ask you on Marcelo Morales. He played 60 minutes with New York Rebels too. Just how important it is for him to get back in a competitive match after 6 months,
Yeah.
And also possibly a date for his debut.
Yeah, it's very important because after his long-term injury and to come physically in a very good spot, not only with individual sessions and with a little bit team training session, and also to get minutes in a 11 against 11 on the whole field. So it's very important. And he did it very well the last game against Columbus with the second team. And but we have to be ready. We have to be careful with him as well, not then to take the risk directly in our roster. So the plan is clear that he will play on Friday with the second team to get then some minutes, and after that we have a national break. Then we are coming in our rhythm with our team training session, and then hopefully he's then ready after the national break.
Next, we go to Gary.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sean Nealis, of course, Ela will be returning from his suspension. Morgan and, of course, Goma. Will they be seeing some minutes in this match, or you want to be careful with them and save them for like a later date versus Atlanta?
Yeah, different points from the individual side from the players. So it's clear Noah Eile and John Nealis, they are in our roster. We have to decide tomorrow with our starting lineup who will be ready then. If we are doing rotations, or is it the same starting lineup or similar the starting lineup like against DC United? It's always the same question with Lewis Morgan. Without team training session, without highest loads or only individual team training session. Yesterday we had a small group in our team training. We will have later a medical appointment. So this is what we have to discuss. If it makes sense that he's an option tomorrow on the bench, or don't take the risk. This is what we have to take later. And but what is clear is Serge and Gomar will be in our roster, and then we will see if he gets some minutes tomorrow.
Next, we go to Dan.
Just to go back on Mohamed Sofo, obviously you're very happy with his performance against DC, especially against FC Dallas in the Open Cup. This was the first time he's converted goals in consecutive matches, regardless if it's league play or in all competitions. How happy are you with his performance and now his progress this season? Does that make it difficult for you when Lewis does come back into the starting 11 to try and integrate both him and Sofo in the starting 11?
Yeah, we will see. We will see how we handle then the situation when Luis is ready, and he's a very important player for us, of course, Luis Morgan. How we handle then the starting lineup, the situation, but to be honest, this is then more a topic after the national break. I'm pretty sure though, when we decide Luis Morgan is an option, but then not directly in a starting lineup. But Sofo did it very well since beginning of our preseason this year, in our training session, in the games, to play with a lot of confidence in a 1-against-1 situation, to believe for himself in the situation in the final third, and to be very aggressive, to play very intensive in our phases against the ball. So it's a very, very good progress, and this is the result from all the coaches, from second team coaches, from our coaching staff, and it's a good result to see him now in the first team consistently in his performance.
Next, we go to Christian.
Hello again, Coach. You mentioned national break. Has there been, due to his form right now with Emil Forsberg, has Sweden reserve a spot for him, and also for Chupo since he's been one of the best players on the team as well?
Yeah, we will see what happened then in the national break. But now is, to be honest, is tomorrow main part, main focus. We have an important week after our win against DC United. But now is our main focus to be ready for tomorrow against a very good opponent, Charlotte. They played very well especially against Columbus in their home match. So main focus, main part is now tomorrow, Charlotte. After that is then the focus for Atlanta. But now we have to keep the concentration in the highest level and also then our intensity on the field.
Go back to Dan.
What changes in Charlotte have you seen in the film that made them a lot stronger and better this season than compared to last year?
Yeah, I would say they were last year also very well. So it's a similar structure, but now with a little bit more individual quality, especially with the winger players. Then Agemang as a striker is very dangerous in some spots. Clear structure, clear identity. What you can see from their head coach, clear philosophy. So I would say they were also very successful last year. And yeah, it's similar structure what I said, and we need everything in our style of play. It's when we are only playing with 90% or 95% that it's very difficult to win a game in this league, and especially then against Charlotte. So we need everything in our quality with the highest level of energy.
Next we go to Gary.
Coach, you talk about the energy, able to keep that going from game to game. Would you see that as sort of a challenge within the group that, especially we have so many games coming at you and you got to reset, start over again, how much is that a challenge for the group? Or is it, from what I'm seeing, is taking it in stride. They seem to keep, charging right through. But I just want to know in your mind's eye, is that a challenge for you and your group or not at all?
No, we don't. I don't want to mention it the whole time in our group. Okay, now that we don't think about too much about all the games which we played. Of course, now it's we played in this month 7 games, 14 press conference. So, but I would say we are ready. And I said this after the DC United game. We are physically in a very good spot. And of course, this is my responsibility to handle the load of the players, what it makes sense tomorrow for the starting lineup, what it makes sense for Saturday. But so I'm convinced about that we will have a starting lineup tomorrow that is able to play physical, to play intensive, and this is the basic. This is what we need. And of course, now we have 2 games, 4 days now to go in this month, and not to think about is it now difficult or something like that? No, it's not difficult. So you can create in every duel, in every passing, in every finish, what you are doing on the field, you can create a good feeling for yourself, for the whole team, and this is what we need for tomorrow.
Next we go to Christian.
Hello again, Coach. I wanted to ask you on Felipe Carvalho's status. He was unavailable last weekend. Just what is his progress at the moment?
Yeah, his progress is it's also a question if he's ready tomorrow, and this is also a point for later in our medical appointment. Yeah, we will see. He I would say 50-50 the chance for tomorrow, but we will see. This is now what we have to answer later. The question he had individual training and a little bit with our group training session, but we will see if he's ready then tomorrow.
Next we go to Dan.
And just to follow up with what Christian was asking, would that mean maybe Ronald Doncourt might get a start in this one on tomorrow or maybe Saturday if you do rotation?
Yeah, we will see if we are doing rotations. Of course, then Ronnie is a player then who can play in our starting lineup, and but for him was also very difficult now. He's not in the trainings with him. He had a private issue last couple of last week or 10 days ago, and when we are doing the rotation tomorrow, then he's a very good option as a 6th position.
How does the team feel going into these last 2 games of the month of May?
I think it's feeling is very good. I think we had two good games now against Dallas and against DC. I think we showed mentality against Dallas that was very good. It was a push for the team as well to feel that joy together with the fans at home, winning that penalty shootout. And I think we took that confident, that mentality to the game against DC. And I think we dominated that game, deservedly won 2-0. So I think the feeling is good. We're very excited for the game tomorrow, and yeah, it's a good feeling.
How important? I mean, I know you touched on it a bit, but how important was it for the team to grab that first road win of the season on Saturday?
I mean, it was a team, of course. I think we spoke about it, but I think the most important part was for us to be there for each other throughout the game. We knew we had difficulties away, but I think we couldn't see any of that against DC. I think we came out confident. We came out being dominant with the ball, without the ball, created chances. So we have to go out, be together, be a team, play as a team, and when we do that, we are a top team, and I think we showed that against DC. And of course, we gotta build on that now. It's just we don't want it to be a one-timer. It has to be constant. So, but the feeling is good.
Charlotte FC, they picked up a pretty good win against Columbus on the weekend. How dangerous of an opponent are they for you guys?
Of course, Charlotte is a very good team with a lot of good quality players. So it's gonna be a tough task for us. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good game. At home, we're always strong at home, so we have that feeling going in. So Charlotte is a really good team, but we play at home at our fortress, so we want to win, of course.
What does Charlotte bring to the table that maybe some of your past opponents, recent opponents haven't?
I think maybe if you look at the quality, single quality they have upstairs with Zaha and Aguiamang, I think the striker there is very, very good. They have a good connection. And they bring physicality to the pitch, so it's gonna be a tough game for us tomorrow. So, with these two guys being able to create stuff on their own, it's gonna be dangerous for us.
It's been a long month, a lot of games. Final 2 at home this month. How important is it to play in front of the fans of Sports Illustrated?
I think it's fantastic that we have the opportunity to do that now. The last 2 games of this month, it's been it's been a hard month, a good month in many ways. I think we had a lot of bad and good experience in this month, but I think we grew from it, and we want to end up at home with these 6 points. Of course, I think that's the most important thing we have to have in our head. That this gotta be 6 points. 2 tough teams. We start with Charlotte tomorrow. But then we go for Atlanta. But first of all, Charlotte tomorrow, 3 points. That's most important.